hit the recording again so we don't miss it this time. All right, this is for Cindy.
Okay, let me just pull up Cindy's. And I wanted to talk to you about your own as well, and your husband's. So whenever you're wanting those done.
Okay.
Cindy's, I got Cindy's. Okay, so are we recording again?
Yep.
All righty. So Cindy, I've got you in Evergreen Park as the birthplace. Do we have a question from Cindy?
Are you doing business, or you're doing personal, or which are you doing?
Whatever you want, my dear. Just pick one. Pick a question.
Where would be an ideal living situation for me?
By the water. Something in nature that's going to give you a lot of balance, because your fourth house, which is your home, is in Libra. And for you, you can't live in chaos. You need to have things organized. And if you're not living in an organized situation, if you've gotten used to somebody else's habits of not having an organized home, get your house organized. Hire yourself somebody who comes into, organizes and puts things in closets and files things and gets things in their place so that your home can be somewhat of a sanctuary for you. You need lots of things like candles, lots of earth, lots of like not earth as in earth, but lots of nature inside of your home, like little garden area, or even I don't know where you're living currently, but even little rockeries with cactus even would work. Something that you don't need to tend to a lot, but is there for you to show life. You need to have that brought back into your area. And because your moon and your Mars have progressed to the fourth house, and because Jupiter is sitting there as a transit, I would say you got a lot of good fortune to find the right place, and you've got lots of time to do it.
Nice. Okay, cool.
So did you have a question about business or something personal?
I am looking at new career, just started grad school, so I guess I don't know if there's anything on what exactly the direction that would be, because there are a couple open to me. I've got a general idea of what I'm doing, but maybe there's an ideal environment even for that, for the work environment.
School for you is a responsibility. It's not, I don't think that school is easy for you. I think school is a heavy responsibility for you. It's either very costly or it's very time consuming. There's something about school that you resonate with it, and it seems to be a karmic thing. You meet lots of people that you just sort of instantly know. But for you, higher education is all about building a foundation. It's all about heavy responsibility and struggling to get the exams or to learn the right questions and answers. You don't need to have all that. You think you need that. And it's in Pisces, which is having a hard time to make a decision about. And because Neptune is in that area of your chart, Neptune's going through Pisces right now, and Chiron is also there, and Chiron is the wounded healer, you will get a lot of depth in psychological transformation for yourself from it. Not so much like you would if it was Pluto being there, but because these two planets are directly opposite, the Pluto, the Uranus, and the Mars, you would put a lot of energy into education of all kinds, like right from when you were little all the way through to a PhD if you wanted it, but it would be work for you to get it. And you have a very interesting chart because all of your planets are either in Pisces and Virgo, or they're in Scorpio, and exactly opposite that in a little bit of, a lot in Gemini and one planet in Cancer. And then you have Cancer rising. So you're very heart-centered, you're very loving, and I would even say you're a very beautiful person. A lot of beauty from your heart you express to the world. You have Cancer as the rising sign, and it makes you very, very sensitive, probably a little more quiet, less likely to speak up, more likely to keep your thoughts to yourself. more that when something is not quite right, you'll go and retreat in the shadows and watch from your safety of being under the little ledge of the cliff looking out at the world. And that sort of works for you. But you've got all of these other planets you've got all the planets in all these air signs. So you think a lot, you're very cerebral, and you might worry an awful lot and overanalyze. You don't need to. Worry is about stuff you can't control. Making a plan is a positive way to move forward with all of these. But because, your Sun, your Mercury, and Venus are all in the 12th house, the answers elude you. They're not up in the forefront for you to find. They're all hidden away from you. So it's always like you never know what you're doing and you're guessing. And that's okay. That works for your chart. That's what you came here to do. I don't even want to take a guess what field of work you're in, because your chart is the most unusual chart I've ever seen. These 4 areas. It really is.
Cindy knows why I'm laughing.
Well, I don't even know if I want to hazard a guess. I would say you'd make a great nurse. You'd be good in anything where you're healing other people. I would say that would be good for you. Writing books would be really good for you. Being a psychologist would be good for you. Being a life coach would be good for you. There's a lot of things that would be good for you. But because your own psyche for you is such, your life path this time around is to have a lot of psychological transformation in your own personal life. But most people who study psychology need the psychology themselves. And I'm saying this because my PhD is in psychology. And I'm not crazy, but people look at me and they're like, wow, you're all over the place, girl, or you're really whack about your crazy ideas about stuff. I don't think you're that, but you have your own little neuroses of your own to deal with. And you're very good at transforming other people's. So I could see you being in any kind of life coaching or psychology or nursing or any kind of healing.
You hit it. I'm going for rehab counseling.
There you go. It's perfect for you. Yeah, it's perfect for you. But your moon is in Scorpio, which you always keep a little bit of yourself completely private. And me saying what I'm saying is probably way too much information for you to let the world know about. You like to keep all this private. But you're also a very powerful woman. You just don't think you are. But you can be if you're not already. You can do so much. You can do so much for who you serve. And you'd get a lot of good fortune serving those people. And yeah, they'd probably all think you're your best friend. I'm not sure that's what you'd want, but they're going to think that about you. And that would totally serve you. But yeah, lots of heavy responsibility with taking on those people's karma. I would really advise you to have something completely different that you do that's for you, that has nothing to do with any of this, to balance yourself, like having the home life that has, like, it's not the place where you bring all this in. It's where you go for your sanctity. Does this make any sense to you?
Yeah, it does. It does. There is chaos at home that's being cleaned up. And exactly, I've thought about the entrepreneurship, but you're right, I take things home. And so I'm watching carefully what I'm going to do with that, and part of why I won't go into a psychological type thing, why I'm doing a vocational.
Well, let me ask you, do you have a dog? Do you have a pet? Because
not presently.
That would help you. That would really help you, because a dog especially the right dog will choose you and will pick you as the ambassador to take these troubles away from you. That would really serve you, to allow an animal to be your angel and take that away from you. A horse or a dog. I'm saying a dog. I think a dog is a better one for you.
Okay. That would make sense, because when I had animals, it was the case.
Yeah, that would really work for you. Even if you want to use animals in your therapy, that would work too, to help other people.
I just got chills on that one. Let's think about that one.
That would really work well for you.
And a service dog fits that mode too.
Right.
Do you have it? Have you had a service dog?
I have not. I did consider one for a while, yes.
Well, that
I
would
had an
really
eyesight issue.
And now would be the right time because Saturn is going through Sagittarius and that's your 6th house. And this is where I'm coming from when I'm saying get a dog.
Okay.
Wow. Wow. Sometimes I
Okay.
surprise myself.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you.
Does that
Thanks,
serve
Kat.
you?
Thanks, Lexi.
Okay, you're very welcome.
All right. I'm going to mute Cindy. And did you want to mention the other couple that you have, or did you want me just to?
I don't mind mentioning them if I have a direction. Would they want more help with career, or do you want me to just? Okay, I'm looking at Marissa right
pretty
now.
much. I would think, having talked to Andrea yesterday or Saturday, I talked to her. Hers probably is going to be about health and weight. I know she's got some health issues that she shared.
And I just lost Andrea's chart. Let me see if I can pull it up again. I don't know what the heck happened to that one.
Yeah, Marissa's is probably more business related. And I'm guessing,
Yeah,
so if I'm wrong on that, ladies, and I will just share the second recording, just I'll put it up as a non-public one and just give them the link so they can listen.
Okay, I'm just pulling up Andrea's right now. Marissa's is already pulled up, but I can only do one thing at a time. So let me just, I thought I had it pulled up and I must have hit the wrong button, but like I had 7 charts open all at the same time. So it's like to slip out there. Okay, I'm looking. Do you want me to do Andrea or do you want me to do Marissa first?
Do it, Andrea.
Okay, and what was your question again?
I think primarily her health, weight related, and some health issues she's got, and how that might be affecting her business.
Okay, this is not the year to try to lose a lot of weight. Let me take that all back. This is the year to detoxify your body, but don't expect to lose a lot of weight. Usually when you detoxify your body, you do lose a lot of weight, but you have Jupiter going through your 1st house, and Jupiter likes to make things grow, likes to make things expand, and that's your waistline too. Plus you have Libra in the 1st house, and Libras love the best that life has to offer. Libras like try getting through Christmas without eating the Christmas cookies or the turkey and the stuffing and the potatoes and the yams, right? You just can't do it. So, bless your heart, as hard as you try, you're just, it's not within you to do. That doesn't mean you're not ever going to be able to. So this is a good year to focus on your health. Just don't expect too much in the getting smaller part of it, because the odds are working against you. Plus, your moon is in Pisces. We have a lot of moon in Pisces people today. Moon in Pisces has a weakness, right? Moon in Pisces is not the strongest at willpower. So, and it's in your 6th house, which is also, Neptune is just about to go into your 6th house. So whatever it is that's going on with you, I'm pretty sure it's related to sensitivities. They're never going to find the answer. They might think they found the answer, but you're not even going to be well served to find the answer. You're going to be well served by figuring out what food sensitivities you might have and eliminating all the wheat, oats, barley, rye, corn especially, the dairy products, anything that you think you might have a food sensitivity to, eliminate it 100%. And that will serve you. You'll see the most change in your life through those things. And because it's a water sign, drinking lots of water especially would be very, very beneficial for you. But yeah, Neptune going through your 6th house, and it's going to be there for a while. Don't even worry about trying to figure out what the problem is. Just worry about getting your body into the healthiest shape possible. And I wouldn't even be surprised if you didn't have a bit of a problem with the sweets like hypo or hyperglycemia, like diabetes or low blood sugar, because Libra rising and moon in Pisces is just so hard to control the will. But that being said, you've got a whole bunches of other things that are really awesome in your chart that are moving forward in very positive ways. Jupiter hitting all these things in your first house. Your sun is there, and it's just past your sun. It's right now about to sit on your Mercury, giving great inspiration. You're going to be able to download information early on in the new year. It's going to bring good fortune to you with surrounding yourself with things that you value, with finding wonderful romance in your life. Then it's going to hit your Neptune, which is going to be helping to eliminate some of the confusion that you always had in your life. Neptune in the first house is always about something confusing, something chaotic, something that's been difficult, like possibly a difficult childhood. These things are now put into balance, put into perspective with the Jupiter sitting on top of them all. And then Jupiter's going to go into your second house when it finishes all that good stuff. It's going to go into your second house. And when it like in about, I think it's about 15 or 16 months from now, it goes into Scorpio. And at that point, it'll be into your second house. And that's when all the money's going to start coming in. So right now for business is a time to focus on building the foundations. And your foundations have to be, you have to really concentrate on black and white and not the gray. So you really need to focus on having the proper balance and not worrying about the fulcrum point, but worrying about what's on the extreme of one and the extreme of the other. Like the seesaw on the fulcrum point. Don't worry about the point of balance. Worry about the left and the right, or the black and the white. Does that make sense, do you think, Kat, for her?
Yep, I think I know from knowing her that you definitely hit on a couple key issues.
Okay. I'd like to hear back from her.
That I suggested to her, so that's great. So if we can do maybe Marissa in 15 minutes or less, that would be great.
Kat, Dennis, who's this? Mary.
And it's actually, her name is actually, because is Marissa.
Okay, Marissa, November 4th. Okay. Just to switch gears here really quickly. Okay. The focal point for Marissa is a little off kilter, which means that she either, I'm not so sure she gets easily distracted, but that could be a possibility. I'd have to ask some questions. But Mars, she has a lot of energy for what she decides she wants to do, but money is always at the forefront, and power, a lot of power. I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't a banker or a financial planner or an investment person, because Venus and the Sun and Jupiter and Mercury are all in the second house, and they're all in Scorpio. This is a very powerful person. Marissa is a very powerful woman, and Libra rising with Jupiter going through the first house. So, a lot of increase there as well, which could be weight, but it's also hitting her North Node, which is karmic relationships from, the people in her life that she just, meets and gets. She's going to have a lot more of that going on in her life, especially right now, coming in the next few weeks, even with Mercury retrograde. All these Venus things that are coming in that I told the other lady about, they're all going to be very much in the forefront for Marissa. Yeah. She has very, very strong, transformative, powerful friends, people in high places, maybe celebrities, politicians, or whoever it is. They're very, very powerful and can help her move forward. She can lean on those people to help give her direction. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if she wasn't somebody in either metaphysics or psychology as well.
Yep. Yeah, she is very strong, intuitive, just released a new program and a new book. And I think she will be interested in hearing what you have to say and get in touch with you. And I know I
think the book might be a challenge for her.
Yeah, and she's been a guest on Fast Action Friday. So you may, if you have, I know you're really busy, but you may want to go back and listen to her episode, because that was really interesting as well. And it's more,
is that right?
Yeah, I got to watch my... It's been a long time since
Marissa has the moon and Uranus in her 10th house, and that's a propensity for sudden change. So suddenly veering off in a completely different direction. And I'm not going to say that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I need to ask questions around that. So it could serve her, but it could also be like, yikes. So, but that also emotionally in her romantic life, she needs to be the center of attention. Just like the other lady needed to be that in her whole life and in her, how she puts herself out there. Marisa needs to do that emotionally. The partner that she has needs to make her whole world, or their whole world.
Very interesting. Yep. Very cool. All right. If you want to do a quick one with me, you've got my information.
Okay.
And mine would be about business, because and listening to you, and of course you and I have talked several times, people, there are no wrong paths. They're just choices we make along those paths. So when you say, I need more information, it's not because you're looking for answers so you can feed that back to them. It's all about the choices we make. And
well, I want to tell you something about that too, though.
Our decisions,
Well, I do know a little bit about you, Kat, but I want to explain something. Most of the people that I do full readings for, not these little micro readings, but most of them come back to me several times and I become friends with them. We end up having a relationship, like a friend relationship. And it's not fair for me to know this much about a person. And it's like I'm psychoanalyzing them all the time. So a long time ago, like when I was 17 or 18, I made the decision that I would try really hard to abuse my mind of everything I learned. And yes, I do know you're a Cancer and I do remember certain things. But for the most part, I've tried to forget so that I don't bring that influence. I don't want to have the advantage with you as a friend, right?
Yep. And it's called being open-minded, which is what we do when we open ourselves up to this sort of intuitive.
So the things I know about you right now are, I know that you still run your own business and you are working with your husband in the restaurant industry. That's what I know about you. And I can totally see that in the chart, because your progressed moon and Mercury and Sun are going through Virgo in the 4th house, and that's very much the restaurant industry. But it's also your home. So your home is a place, you want your home to be neat and tidy. You're a person that needs to have compartmentalized things. And the Cancer part of you, you're actually a Gemini rising towards the end, 23.5 degrees. Gemini makes you quixotic and very sharp and very good business mind. You've also got all these other things going on in your chart that are like Cancer. All the cardinal signs are very, very good for business. So, but in your 2nd house, you've got Uranus. So your entire life, you're always going to be having money come in and having money go out, and having money come in, having money go out. It's just who you are. You need the partner that can say, wait a second, you get this much money to spend how you like. This much money gets put away for whatever and invested. You're not the person to do the investing. You might be good at coming up with the ideas, but if you're the one handling it, you're going to fritter it away before it ever gets invested properly, or you'll pull it out because, oh, it's such a good deal, right? And then money just comes in and goes out. That being said, Cancer likes to grab on. Cancer is that one big claw, right? Cancer grabs onto a husband or grabs onto children or grabs onto a career or a mentor or something and never lets go. And my ex-husband, who I divorced some 26 or some odd years ago, has like 5 planets in, Cancer rising and 5 planets in Pisces. And he's still mad at me 27 years later for leaving him.
Well, I can relate to that one.
Okay, so I don't usually bring up those kinds of examples, but that's the perfect example for what you need to hear right now, because the things that you value, the 2nd house is what you value. So Uranus, Sun, and Venus is things you value, are all in the house of what you value. So for you, home is very important. Family is very important. What you hang on to, the thing your crab claw grabs, you're never going to let go. And if you have to let it go, if for some reason it leaves, because children grow up and move out, husbands don't always stay. If that should happen, emotionally, you still haven't let go. And that's not always a bad thing, but you need to use it to serve you. So if you take those things, and the restaurant industry is not a bad thing for you, but I don't see you doing it forever.
Oh, we're not physically there.
Okay, good.
They were a temporary client for me, and my husband's not physically there anymore either. We were both there as consultants to help a business we used to run
Okay.
with the new owners, help them get through a particularly trying
I don't think you're done with it because you
No,
still have.
don't think so either.
Yeah, no, you're definitely not done with.
And I'm married to a
But
stuff,
and
so he's
it might be a different client that you end up getting that has something similar, or it would really serve you to write a book about those things, about the restaurant industry. The restaurant industry is a really hard industry. If you're good at it, then you would be a great person to educate people who are wanting to get into that. Just putting together, for example, should I franchise or shouldn't I franchise? The person who franchises always thinks to himself that they're going to get this and they're going to put a manager in and the manager's going to run it. And the manager's never going to love it the way you love what you own yourself. And you have to think about, well, I've got a wife and I've got kids and I've got, whatever else at home, but I got the manager doing it. But if somebody doesn't show up at work, you have to go. That, when you're the franchisor, you could write that.
Franchising, but definitely the marketing of a food service business is up my alley. Yeah.
You could definitely be writing that book because that's in your chart. And I won't go into how I know this, but that's in your chart.
All right.
And Jupiter in Taurus in the 12th house. If your birth time is accurate, which it may or may not be because you've got an exact o'clock and hardly anybody's ever born right at the o'clock. But Jupiter has just snuck into the 12th house, which then means that your good fortune comes from behind the scenes. So when you need the angel to show up, the angel shows up. So you're never going to be down and out, Kat, because this angel's always going to come and show up.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be there for you. Plus, it's in Taurus, which is very grounded, and your moon is right there. They're eight or so degrees apart. So they're conjunct. They're right together. Your emotions and this good angel, this good fortune, walk hand in hand in your chart throughout this whole lifetime. So you're always well served. And the moon is in your 11th house of friends. So for you, you're a very sociable person. You've got all this Gemini rising, which is the social butterfly. You like if you were the waitress and tending to all the tables, you would like having the conversations with all of those people. Or if you're the hostess and the people are coming in the door, you'd want to have the conversations with them. Or you'd remember them, like Starbucks baristas that always remember they always remember your face, right? You're that person.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so that being said with the Gemini, because your moon and Jupiter are in Taurus, those people that you have that association with, that Gemini stuff now goes into the 11th house of the Taurus energy where you make them into your friends. And because they're Taurus, they're solid friends. So your friends are there for a really long time. And if they're not, you take your Cancer claw and hook into them and you don't let them forget you. So that's all good stuff. As long as you have a good relationship with them, right? That's all good stuff.
And stuff to work on.
The Aquarius thing, your North Node is in Aquarius, all new agey, and it's in the 9th house of higher education and what's out there, right? And that's where all this metaphysical stuff comes in for you. You just get downloads. It's just stuff that you remember from past lives or, from hooking into the Akashic records. You just get it. It's not astrology. It's not numerology. It's not palmistry. It's just you get it. Mm-hmm. And you're saying clairaudient. I think you're more than that.
Yeah, definitely now. But like I said,
I think you're clairsentient.
I'm clairsentient. I'm clairaudient. I'm clairvoyant now. But for those who are still on the line, I spent 5 years traveling with a kind of a celebrity astrologer, not Lexis, doing psychic fun fairs every weekend, 2 days a week.
Funny.
Including in Europe, in the Mediterranean and in the Caribbean.
Wow.
Just, having a great time. But I still focus. Well, I was that normal looking person among a lot of other ones I really liked.
Well, that's so funny because that's the 9th house is the house of travel. It's the house of long distance travel. And it's in Aquarius, which is flying. So I imagine there's some flying in there.
Flying to Europe and then
taking
water. A cruise across the Mediterranean twice. I mean, nothing's better than doing psychic fun fairs in the harbor of Nice with the full moon outside and in a Halloween costume because it was Halloween night.
Well, I have to look at your husband's chart. But once I look at your husband's chart, why are you not still doing that? Because that would so serve you.
Well, we'll have to revisit that. And then I do bring it in with a lot of my business clients. So, yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of hubby, he's waiting for me. This has been wonderful. And I'm going to separate out the parts. And thank you all for being with us. And thank you
I want to thank everyone too.
for your generosity with us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. There's so much coming in 2017 to look for. So
I'm
join
really
the group
looking
and I'll
forward
let you
to it.
know all as it comes.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.